Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Blokees Champion Class Star Wars A New Hope Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper version model kit. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got Blokees Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper Disguise Version Model Kits Champion Class Star Wars A New Hope Champion. And I also forgot there's a nice, I'm assuming that's a product shot and not a digital render there. And then it's got a nice kind of holographic background going on. And that holographic background carries over to the background of the wrist of the, or at least the front of the packaging. And then we've got that practical photography, I'm assuming, again. It says Blokees Star Wars Model Kits, 103 pieces, Champion Class, Star Wars A New Hope, Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper Disguise. You don't need tools, it says. No brush, no glue, no cutters. We'll see. And then it's Champion Series, 14 and up. There's a number. There's the dimensions. Attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. And warning, don't stick things in your American pie hole. Here's a thing to scan if you want to, where you can find them. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, symbols I'm not going to learn, Blokees Star Wars, don't give it to babies, a barcode, and some other stuff. The package and instructions contain important information. Please keep it. Then on this side, got a nice practical shot. Blokees up at the top. It's got like rainbow lights on the Death Star hallway thingy. And then some sprues, model kits. On this side, pretty much the same thing, except without the Death Star type background. It's got that hologrammy background. Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper Disguise, some sprues, model kits. Then finally on the back, Star Wars. There he is in an action pose. There he is exploded. There's some extra parts there. And then there's the whole model and some sprues. And that, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure / model kit and the accessories / extra parts. And first up, we will start with the stand. And it's nicely detailed. And I'm sure they use this for more than just the Star Wars line, because this plate right here in the front is a separate piece, and the top piece here is a separate piece. So they can change it up and use this base, but they probably use this with other figures as well and just change out this plate, the tampo on it or what have you, because it's got 2 foot pegs and it does have like a peg back here, I'm guessing for a flight stand, and it does rotate some, but you can see it has to be lined up specifically with all these ports in the bottom in order for it to work correctly. So that's the stand. Here we go with the handy dandy instruction manual, and there I go bumping the camera because it's a Digital Caveman Presents review. So Blokees Star Wars, and then we have a nice product shot here of it. It's a model kit of 103 pieces. It's Champion Class Star Wars A New Hope Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper Disguise version 14 and up, and there's the number. Dimensions are 14.5 centimeters or 6.06 inches, which is shorter than Han Solo because he was 6.30 inches. Han Solo is a Stormtrooper, that is. Champion Series, you don't need paint, don't need glue, and you don't need cutters. And while the cutters may not be required, I do recommend cutters. It's much easier that way. There's a QR code if you want to scan it to find them on their social medias. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole and don't give it to babies. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole or give it to French babies. And then here's another QR code if you want to get some more information. On the inside, on the very first flap here, you've got read before use, and it's got a list of all the parts. And I will say some of the parts are different from Han Solo as a Stormtrooper. And then on the inside, it does give pretty detailed and pretty easy to follow directions on how to put it together. And then there's some more of it on the back. It says Star Wars, and it shows, you know, different things you can do there. So that is a handy dandy instruction manual. Now let's start with the accessory slash extra pieces. And here's a piece that the Han Solo as a Stormtrooper did not come with, a mouse droid, and it's in 4 pieces. You get, this is 1 piece, the housing top is 1 piece, the housing bottom is 1 piece, and I said 4, didn't I? It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because the wheels are 2 separate pieces. So 5, not 4, doofus. And I have to say, it's got nice molded details, a little bit of color on the sides. You wouldn't, you know, would have been appreciated. But, you know, I don't even know if they had color on the sides, and I'm saying that. And it rolls not super well. I mean, it rolls okay. It doesn't really need to roll though, does it? So let's start with the extra pieces, or the accessories, however you want to say it. It's got that standard Stormtrooper blaster, and it does have nice detailed molds on it, or the mold is nicely detailed rather, and it looks rather realistic to me, matching up to the, you know, film. Some of this does and some of it doesn't. So here's 1 extra hand holding said rifle for the right hand. Yeah, and you can see it doesn't have an armor piece on it because unfortunately there's not enough armor pieces for the backs of the hands to accommodate all the hands at one time. You have to switch out when you're switching out hands if you don't have enough pieces. Here's the one that holds the helmet. You can see it's got the armor piece on it. And this tab right here plugs into a slot on the helmet, and I'll show that in a minute how that works. So here's like the relaxed hand, I guess, and it's got an armor piece on it. Here's the other side's relaxed hand. Here's a pointing finger. Now you listen to me, Han Solo. And then here's a hand that Han Solo did not come with. But also Luke doesn't come with the long rifle either. And the Han Solo did. And then here is the other hand holding standard Stormtrooper weapon, blaster, whatever you want to call it. You do get 1 extra wrist peg, I guess. So you got a ball at the front and the back, and then a hinge in the middle. And then you get 1 extra piece that's a socket for a ball that I think goes somewhere in the torso. Then you have this extra bottom of the foot that goes with the stand where you can peg this in. You have an extra neck. Here's an alternate belt. This one has the canister on the back of it because there's no tab on the back of this, the one that's on the figure's belt for it, so I'll put it on the spare one. And then here we have the helmet, which I think is pretty screen accurate. Looks pretty good. Nice punches of color where there should be some. And on the inside here, you'll notice there's two different slots, and what those are for is for the hand here. You can see it's got that big tab on it, and it goes like that. Now let's take a look at the figure slash model kit itself. And I will have to say the face is very cartoony looking in style, but I think that's the style that Blokees is going after. It probably costs less to get that license than the other. The eyes and the face print look pretty good, and it is, you probably can't see all the little dots from the inkjet on my camera, but they are there, and so that's how they decoed the face up. And I have to say, you know, it's not bad deco or anything. It just is cartoony looking and doesn't match the actor, and that's fine, because again, I think that's the way that they're going. The mold for the Stormtrooper armor is actually pretty realistic. The only issues I have with it are the knee pieces here seem a bit exaggerated in size, and the knee, you know, back there, it's very blocky looking. So there is that, but otherwise I think they did really good job on the mold and the deco. Of course, it's a Stormtrooper, so you don't have a whole lot of call for a bunch of deco on it. So, and this belt is different than Han Solo's, even though it's got the peg on it here for the separate holster for the gun, which the gun does fit in it. It doesn't have the tab back here for the canister, but it does have this piece, which I think is the grappling hook and line. And then you can see it's got, you know, whatever that's supposed to be on the back. I'm sure I knew at one point what that actually was, but I don't remember. And you can see when I was going over stuff, it did not have the extra thighs in it. It just had the short ones. So I guess they wanted to make sure you got Luke the short ones in this set. So let's take a look at his articulation real quick. He looks up that high. He looks down that low. He's got a ton of chicken neck. He's got waggle at the bottom of the neck. He's got waggle at the head. He's got attitude. He can do the full exorcist. This piece is on a hinge right here attached to the arm, and you can adjust it. Also, there's a bit of butterfly here at the shoulder. It goes back barely any at all, and it goes forward about that far. So not bad, not great. It also does have some up and down movement to it as well, which if you engage that and you move that armor piece around, he can raise his arm up that high, which is better than 90 degrees, so pretty good. Really good, actually. 360 degrees of rotation. And right here, this piece and this piece, they hook together with the elbow piece, and it creates a cut there that gives you 360 degrees of rotation. At the elbow, double hinged, pinless, and it gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist, and like I showed earlier, it's on that ball hinge, so you can adjust it to in and out, up and down, whatever that you might need. There's 2 cuts in the abdomen, one at the waist, one where the chest and the abdomen meet, and it gives him all kinds of hula. It lets him twist about that far, both of them in conjunction, that is, and then this way about that far. If you go any further than that, you risk joints popping loose and stuff like that. And let's see, those 2 joints let him lean back that far and crunch forward that far, and then I popped it out when I did that, so maybe he only goes that far. And then he leans left and right as well. The hips are on a pull down hinge, and these flat pieces move independently. If you don't watch them, they will pop off. So with the pull down hinges engaged, he gives you that much of the splits, which is almost the full splits. Not quite though, almost. And with it engaged, he can kick that high with a lot of outswing due to the crotch piece, and he kicks back about that far, and there's a little bit of outswing from the butt flap. Then there's the thigh piece and the armor piece are 2 different pieces, kind of like the elbow, and they're connected by the pins from the knee, I think, if I remember correctly. So it creates a cut here that gives you a thigh swivel of 360 degrees, about, I guess, mid-thigh. Then at the knee, double hinged pinless, and it gives you that much bend. Now the hinge itself will bend more than this, so you are limited by what the armor, you're limited by the armor. So at the ankle, it rotates 360 degrees, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and then it does have a pin for some rocker in there. And what's that? Dang it. And then it does have some toe tilt. And it might take you a minute to straighten him back up, but it might not. So there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure / model kit and his accessories / leftover pieces or spare pieces. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Blokees Champion Class Star Wars A New Hope Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper Disguise version model kit with Star Wars The Black Series Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise, and Star Wars The Black Series The Mandalorian Stormtrooper. Here we have the Blokees Champion Class Model Kit Star Wars A New Hope Luke Skywalker and Stormtrooper disguise version, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Blokees Champion Class Star Wars A New Hope Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper Disguise version model kit, I have to say it was a pretty fun little kit to put together. It's not too hard. No paint, no glue. It says no snippers, but I prefer to use them myself. Your mileage, of course, may vary from that. But, you know, overall, it was a fun time putting it together. I enjoyed it. It's always fun to see kind of the way that action figures work, how the parts and pieces kind of fit together. And although this is a model kit that doubles as an action figure, you know, it has some of the features an action figure has, but it's also has the features a model has. I don't know what point I'm trying to make there, because I'm just rambling. But I do like that this one is different than the Han Solo. It has those shorter thighs that makes Luke a bit shorter. The belt here that's on the figure is a bit different. Something that I just noticed while I was setting this shot up that I didn't notice before is, as you can see, as he's coming around now on his belt, the comm link that he uses to talk to 3PO is also on the belt. So that's cool that it has some differences other than just the head. So I'm assuming some of these differences are different than the regular issue Stormtrooper as well, and that's cool. I like the fact that it comes with a mouse droid. There's never enough mouse droids to go around, I don't think. And this one is sized appropriately. You can use it with, you know, these Blokees Champion class model kits. You can throw it in the Black Series, although it might be slightly small for the Black Series. But unless you put it next to that crappy Black Series shell of one, you're not really gonna notice. And you know, I think the hands and stuff that come with this one are appropriate. He doesn't come with the long rifle or the hands that go with that, but he does come with a left and a right blaster holding pistol, so, or blaster holding hand rather. So, you know, that's neat. You can make him a lefty or a righty, whatever you want. And you know, on this one, on the Han Solo as well, you know, the hand that holds the helmet and it tabs in, you know, that's kind of neat. Make sure that he won't drop it. And because, you know, the parts of the plastic that they use in the models are much harder than the plastics that they use in action figures, so, you know, there's no give to that hand where you can get it to go around the helmet. So excuse me, I think that's a neat fix for that, to have a tabbed hand and slots in the helmet where it tabs in. I think that's pretty cool. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.